Good morning. Welcome to Masada, one of King Herod's many fortresses and palaces. The site was later used by a group of Jewish rebels fighting against the great Roman Empire. Rather than give in, they decided to commit mass suicide. There are two ways up to the site. Let's go. One way up is by using a cable car. And the second way up is by climbing the snake path. We're going to start our tour of Masada here at Herod's palace. In point of fact, this is not Herod's only palace. He has palaces all over the place, all over Judea. He has a palace in Jerusalem, of course. He has a palace in Caesarea. He has a palace in Jericho. He has a palace at Herodium. And, of course, his palace here at Masada. Herod is known as Herod the Great because of all his building projects. He builds all over the place. He is one of the greatest builders in the Roman Empire. And so he builds his palace here at the northern end of the site, at the northern end of the promontory, so that he can enjoy two things. First of all, the beautiful view over here to the east of the Dead Sea, the lowest place in the world, and also enjoy a little bit of the breeze, which a little bit difficult to tell, but there is a little bit of a breeze. Now, this palace is not only on one level, it's on 3 levels. We're at the top level. And we're now on the lower level of the 3-level palace of King Herod. A moment ago we were up there, up at the top. Quite impressive. We're now in Herod's bathhouse. This is probably one of the best well-preserved bathhouses, not only in Israel, but in all of the former Roman Empire. This was King Herod's private bathhouse. Notice behind me the well-preserved frescoes, which would have covered up the whole of the wall. This is the changing room, or more correctly, the undressing room. We'll make a quick stop here just to see it. The cold plunge bath. Okay, after all, this was a sauna. After you'd finished sweating in the sauna, you would have come in here and cooled yourself off by plunging into the bath. And now we will go into the sauna. This is the sauna. The sauna was made up, it had 2 floors in it. The lower floor, which is where the steam was, which heated up the floor that you stood on. You can see a reproduction of it behind me, and you can see on the walls the pipes, and the steam would have flowed up through the pipes and heated up the whole room. You would have come in here, had a massage by your local favorite masseuse. Admittedly, it was only Herod. This was his private bathhouse. And once you'd finished, you would have left the way we came in. That's it. I'm already starting to sweat a little bit too much myself. Let's go on to the next site. The big question, of course, is where does King Herod and later on the rebels, where do they get the water from here in the middle of the desert? Well, King Herod builds a fantastic water system using Roman engineering knowledge. What does he do? He digs 2 water channels or trenches which lead into cisterns which have been carved into the center of the hill. If enough rain falls in the wintertime and we get flash floods, then all of these cisterns fill up and you're set for the rest of the year. Well, let's go now and see one of these great cisterns. Okay, let's go down into the cistern. We'll do it carefully. Whew. Wow. Very impressive. How much water does it take to fill this thing up? I don't know. I'm not really sure. But one thing I know, that if this thing is filled up with water, then, as I said earlier, you're set for the rest of the year until the next winter. Behind me is the ramp which was used by the Romans to break into Masada just before the mass suicide. At the moment, we're at the top of it, and now we're at the bottom. To finish off, I'd like to take you to 3 more places here on Masada, which are, of course, of no less importance, but we'll do them a little bit quickly. First of all, we have here a synagogue. This is one of the 4 or 5 oldest synagogues here in the land of Israel, and it's still in use today. This synagogue existed or was in use before the destruction of the temple in the year 60. Okay, this is a columbarium, or a dovecote. Okay, this is where doves or pigeons were grown. What did they need doves and pigeons for? For 3 things. They needed them for food. 2, they used them as carrier pigeons to send messages. And 3, they used their poop as fertilizer to grow things. Yes, they were able to grow things up here on Masada. One last place. Okay, and finally we have King Herod's second palace. Yes, he had not one, he had 2 palaces up here on Masada, one for himself, the one we previously saw, and this one, I guess, was for his guests or his good friends. Most fantastic thing you can see here is this wonderful mosaic down below. I'm too old for this.